I understand either way, guys. That what's important is I just woke up, and now you guys have to realize that if you wanna, let's say, sleep around and you wanna just enjoy yourself while sleeping, then go ahead. I mean, go and sleep as long as you want, and go and focus on yourself. Understand? I mean, what you really want to do is just learn to speak for yourself in a way that you're never broke. You're learning the words of energy and the word. I mean, you're learning very quickly upon what you need to do daily to succeed. So right now, I have better feelings. I feel much better. I have more empathy. I have more of what I need. And because of that, I do better in all regards to make sure that I am much more than yesterday in different ways. And so I succeed in different ways. But now I have to do my Instagram. Because now I do feel a headache a bit. Although, I feel amazing. I feel amazing. I realize, anyway, I make sure all the time I do something better. I'm just always making sure that you guys have more words, so I have more words to give always. Because if you have more words, guys, then you're going to be looking for a better time for yourself. Because guess what? Those people who look for a greater time are the ones who need to actually be. I mean, they actually have to need. I mean, they need to be more blissful about everything because guess what? Because that's why you need a greater time. You understand? I mean, those people have to understand anything about life. I have to go and start reading something right now to succeed. Because if you are reading something to succeed, then you're actually doing something greater for yourself because you actually want to study your ideas. So either way, I just make sure you guys understand I have to upload my Facebook photos. So what I do now is I understand I have to upload some photos now. And since I'm always uploading, some photos, I make sure I get some ideas into me. I make sure I do better with everything. I understand music production is a must today. I understand what I can do with music production. Is I can change from 1 hour rule. I can change from 6 p.m. rule to 1 hour rule just to do my. I mean, I can change from 6 p.m. rule to 1 hour rule just to do nice and beautiful music production that I do. I mean, what for? Because guess what? I understand I'm very passionate about music, so I can just make sure I can figure it out for myself in a way that I could do some music production sometime very soon because I need to go and study how to make music and I need to actually go and do greater in everything I do. So I want to be able to make some sound effects around the music. I want to be able to make sure that nice, beautiful music is pumping in different ways. I want to make sure I have more enough to succeed, and I understand how my music is evolving from this point. But what I need to do is just that. I want to make sure that my music is escalating and moving along very quickly, but changing very quickly and fluctuating very quickly into something new. But because I'm actually learning about everything now, I understand either way. I want to make sure now I go and succeed very quickly upon what I need to do. So as I succeed, I shall reap rewards because I feel all the time that if you want to go and succeed, then just make sure that you love the sound that you're playing because that way you're going to succeed and lift people's words and you're going to make sure that you have more enough because that's what I believe. I believe the better you are, the more you need to go and grow yourself. So make sure you understand that if you want to go and do greater, then just be able to understand how it is to relate, let's say, a woman with other women in terms of how much sex they have, for example. Whereas then you understand much more about life and how you can actually do greater overall. And what's amazing about life is being able to succeed in personal growth and development, speaking your words. Paroshu. Paroshu, if you can speak your words all day long, then guess what, Paroshu? Then you can actually understand life. I mean, anybody who can understand life itself are people who understand how to grow themselves. Now, growing yourself is something that I do all the time. I make sure you understand every single day. I'm looking for nice and beautiful pictures of myself. I'm looking to promote more greatness people into my Instagram today. I realize it's very important for people to be able to go and see what I am doing around Instagram because that way they get to enjoy, they get to do greater, and they get to see much more about what they need to do daily to succeed in different ways. So I'm making sure you guys understand every single day. I'm focusing on myself. I'm making sure that no matter what, I'm never doing drugs. I'm making sure I'm sober. I'm making sure I have a great time. I make sure all the time I see the nice and beautiful way of life. Make sure all the time I do something to improve myself. I'm making sure all the time I'm doing something to get ideas. I understand my mentors have ideas today. I understand either way, I approach you. I need to go and do my life. I need to succeed with my life because that way I succeed differently and that way I realize something. It's much more how I feel in the moment, but I'll let it be this time. I'll let it be. I'll make sure you guys realize very soon upon what I am actually doing all the time with my life because I understand I just need Jesus Christ. I understand better what's going on around the world, but I need to be updating myself along all the way to make sure I update myself with Robert Kiyosaki and people who are in the economic industry to make sure that either way that I have more information. And now since I have more information anyway, make sure I have to go and read much more information to see myself doing greater. But these days I understand either way that what's important for myself is to make sure that I love my life and to be able to see something different is amazing for me. So what I do is I make sure that you guys understand that I love my life and I make sure all the time to go and really develop. I develop myself differently. I make sure either way that I love life. I make sure all the way that I just see what's going on with my beautiful technology here. But it's just that kind of day, isn't it? I make sure all the time that I realize something. I realize now, every single time, I understand my nice and beautiful phones and everything I have may disconnect with Mega Drive and Mega Drive may pull back on me for some reason. And now I just realize every single day that I want to always understand something about life. I want to be able to understand how to promote myself. I want to make sure people understand all the time who I am and what I do. Make sure that people can see exactly what I do all the time so that they can succeed through Danny Milivojevic and so people can see exactly how I do my business and life. Brosh, now that's it. Brosh, if you can see your life and how you do business, Brosh, that's all I want you to see all the time. So I'm always understanding to go and do greater with what I do to make sure I'm doing a greater job. So that's the whole point for me. So I make sure all the time that if I do anything to succeed, I make sure all the time to love my life and I feel that I am worthy about what I do. So as I succeed, I hustle in a way that I'm learning very fast. I'm learning very fast upon how to make people much more in terms of everything, and I make sure that you guys understand that I have a lot of work to do upon life and I can go and connect some nice and beautiful music together here, because what you need to do is you need to merge audio sometimes, and since that's the case I need to understand to merge some audio today so that I can go and do something much more. So I need to organize my phone over here, and I have some files that I need to upload. I have some nice and beautiful organizational methods. I have a nice and beautiful way of life over here, making sure that you guys go and get that. Or else either way I make sure that no matter what that I'm learning very quickly upon what I'm doing over here. So if you want to go and do greater for life, then be making sure that you're always doing something to improve yourself like I am, because that way you're always improving yourself regardless of what's happening. And no matter what you're doing, just make sure that if you want so much pleasure and sex from other people, to be somebody who is actually delaying gratification more, and understand that is the best way. But no matter what I do, realize that my reality is something different, and because my reality is different, I understand I need to go and live a different life than them, and I need to go and make sure that my life is improving myself to grow. And either way, I promise you, it's never difficult for me, but it's very new for me to be able to live this way in terms of what I'm doing, because I never was doing this before. Now either way, I make sure that you guys understand very quickly upon my success and how I actually live my life in different ways. So I'm always looking for a nice and beautiful improvement and making sure that I go and find all the necessary tools and nice and beautiful wisdom I need to succeed, so I can help myself and you grow. So I'm actually always studying what I can do always. I'm understanding that no matter what, I see many people and how they just go clubbing, or they go around each other in clubbing or something like that, or they go to speed dating. When they go speed dating, and they go also just to fuck around in a way that there's alcohol and drugs with them. And guess what? I never need to do that in my life. I'm way past that game, but I never miss drugs. I never miss the drugs ever. So I'm making sure you understand that no matter what, I feel that many people are just never ever amounting to much more in life. But either way, they believe they have some kind of life with those. They believe they have some kind of life with those guys or something like that. So what I do is I make sure that you guys have something more about information daily and about how I do business all the time, because that's the only way you understand a life coach wants to help you to grow. So if you grow yourself all the time like a life coach like I, you understand either way that you have to speak more words regardless of what's happening. So that's the whole point. And then the whole point is making sure that you can go and do greater upon everything. I'm always doing greater upon everything I do. And why is that? Because I choose to love my life. I choose to make sure that my life is looking ahead of me in a way that's helping me grow, because I want to be able to express myself in different ways, and I want to understand either way that I focus upon and I focus upon never chasing women right now, because I have something greater, and I never want to chase pleasure as much, but I want to make sure that I'm learning to be productive, and I'm learning to do something much more. I'm not saying they just want to chase women, they just always want, or they always want to chase women and women and women. But for me, in my world, that's never the case. It's never the case for me to chase women now, because I chase myself in this program. I chase something greater. I chase a better life. I'm improving my life. I'm improving my life to succeed daily. I'm looking for a better way. I'm looking for something more that I can do daily. I'm looking to just be in a better position financially, mentally, spiritually. I understand how it is to go having sex around and just sex around and sex around. But what I want to do is study much more. I want to study everything. And what I do now is I succeed differently than everybody else, because I always have more empathy for everybody else. Now, I want to make sure all the way that you guys understand something, that since I'm actually very kind, I'm always making sure that no matter what, you guys have what you deserve in everything that I do. So I'm making sure no matter what, I'm always helping you to grow your Instagrams and whatever it is in terms of life, where I can promote you differently. And now understand, if you want to go and do something greater, to make sure that you understand that you can promote people very quickly, and you also understand either way that just make sure that you understand who you are, and understand that you need to go and do greater upon what you're doing, so that you understand how to grow yourself. And so you understand either way that what's important is talking more words and escalating yourself to help yourself talk more words over everything else. But if you want to become something more in what you're doing, I understand that I need to go and speak more words, because I see how my life goes without doing it. But without more words to speak, I see how people treat me very negatively upon my life, so I have to go and succeed more. And that's it. I feel destiny is coming, because destiny says, hey, they're treating you like shit, they're very negative on you anyway, and let's just do greater. And that's it. I make sure of it. I make sure that I'm making more money than them. I make sure I have more of everything I need than them. And what I need every single time is just to speak always much more. So the more I speak up, the better I feel. And that's how I understand that no matter what I do, I make sure always to have a greater world in what I do. I make sure either way that I'm learning very quickly upon how it feels to succeed, and how it feels to make sure that my life is much more. So I feel that the next month, I can see the month coming ahead. Whereas there's a lot of talking going on, but there's more music going on as well. And making sure I never want to fall in my music. I want to make sure I'm getting ahead of life coaching. I want to upload all this content, and then I want to make sure that I want to do my Instagrams, and then I want to study upon my music. I want to make sure I do my music as well. So I understand either way. I'm just indoors today. I'm making sure either way I understand that you must go and really dwell upon your life in a better way and delay gratification as much as possible. I mean, drink water when you have to, and that's it. I mean, make sure you understand that no matter what I do, I focus on helping myself to succeed. I make sure every single day I focus upon just giving you my life story. I gave you some life stories just recently, and I gave you some of my life stories. I gave you some embarrassing moments from my life, and I gave you some great moments from my life as well. Whereas either way, I make sure that no matter what, that you see much more about Danny Milivojevic. So now, I just want to make sure that you guys understand, just never ever eat any kind of bread that's gone through expiry. I mean, you never need that, but guess what, Parachute, what you need is better words. Parachute, better words is what you need when you see images. If you see images or anything like that, then you need the nice and beautiful words of images. You need to understand that if you really understand anything about life, then make sure that you have words to say, and have these words to say always. So make sure you're understanding how to perform miracles in your life, and make sure you understand that there's no shame in having no sex with other people. But if you're the one chasing other people for sex all the time, then guess what? I promise you, it's much more how you need to delay gratification. But if you understand all the time, that's the best way. Which the best way is make sure you understand to never go chasing people to have sex with. Never ever go on those websites to place your penis or vagina on the photos to get dating sites or to get a woman or man to come with you somewhere. That's all a waste of time. So what you need to do is straight away just go and talk more. Because if you never have a life that's more in life, where you can go and love yourself differently, make sure I understand every single day I'm learning very quickly. I have to go and promote myself as well. And I'll make sure either way I want to just study upon understanding that my success is leading me forward. And because I'm very successful, I make sure that I can go and realize something. If I go today, it's much more how I feel to stay indoors today because of how I feel. But guess what? I feel much more, let's say, ready about life to just go and promote myself differently. But the amazing thing about life is understanding that if you just want to upload photos and you want to do something around that, then guess what? Probably it's much more how I feel, and I understand that no matter what, it's much better that I just upload content always before I even do my Instagram. And why is that? I want to upload content before I do my Instagram, and the reason is that I realize something. I can do my other nice and beautiful content, and the reason is that as I upload content, I do my other Instagrams like mentors, I do my fantasy woman program, and I realize that those guys are going to have those women in their lives. But guess what? I need to speak more regardless. It's more how I feel every single day, that if you want success around your life, then you must understand the words of life is how you do it. The words of life is how you have success in your life. So the only way to succeed and to have anything that you ever want is what? It's more the words, the better. Speak more words, is what I'm saying. Be able to express your words to people, and that way you understand either way you're very much alive about what you're doing, but delay gratification as much as possible, and realize to just be warm about what you're saying. Whereas now, the thing is that about life, I see I succeed very quickly because I focus upon having something more in my life, and I make sure that no matter what, I can go and really, let's say, dwell upon something greater for myself. What do I mean? I make sure that my nice and beautiful life is having a greater time with myself in different ways. But I want to make sure now that I have something much more coming up. Or I did, let's say, get my ABN number. I do have an ABN number now for the first time ever. I did get my bank transaction account. I did make the event possible. I want to call actually nice and beautiful Space Q Hotel. I want to give them money because I understand they never did receive my money. I want to call them up. I want to say, hey, I was meant to give you guys money before. I was very busy about life. I apologize for what did happen. So I want to give them some money. I want to make sure that you guys understand something. If you want to go and grow yourself all the time, then make sure you understand that no matter what I do, is I'm always helping myself to grow in different ways, because that's how I see life. I see life through helping myself to grow and helping other people to grow all the time now. Because if you're helping other people to grow right now, then you're actually learning about what's going on, and you're making sure that either way you have more enough. When you have more enough of what you want. So all the time, just focus on studying. Focus on really helping yourself to succeed and to understand that if you want to do anything about life to do greater, then make sure you understand it's much more about how you feel in the moment of what you're doing, and you're making sure that you have that nice and beautiful talent going to make sure that you can go on Instagram and you can promote. I make sure that since I go and actually understand something, I actually go and promote these people as well now, and make sure that you guys can always understand much more about what's going on and why. I'll make sure you guys understand now quickly about how I promote people. But as I promote people, I succeed even greater because I promote all these people just because I understand they have some type of greatness in life. So I make sure that you guys can understand that as I promote, I succeed very quickly upon life. So I place China in the greatness department. And because I understand China is a nice and beautiful woman who is from wrestling, I make sure I go and do that. And I understand that since you promote all the time different people, just make sure that no matter what, you realize something. That you just go and focus on your business more than what other people are doing with pleasure. Because that way, you have to understand that it's much more how you have to go really deliver. You must be able to deliver a greater life for yourself. That's all you have to do. Just focus on your life and focus on great success is what I'm saying. So if you want to go and grow yourself differently, then you must understand all the time to love your life differently. Make sure that you're really improving yourself to succeed is what I mean. So if you want to really go and focus upon something that is helping you grow, then you're always looking for a nice and beautiful way to understand something. So I want to actually go and see the net worth of the nice and beautiful, let's say, Didi service. I say Didi service, I say Didi service. I say Didi service, I say Didi service net worth. I want to see what they are worth. I want to see the Didi actual service account over here. I see now the round value company at US 50 billion. I see they have a $4 billion per year. I can boost the company's revenue very quickly. And now I'll focus on understanding to see the nice and beautiful Uber revenue. I say Uber net worth. See, Uber over here is much more, but I say Uber is 15 billion. So I understand either way that I can boost these companies very quickly in their money. And how do I do that? I make sure either way that I'm learning very quickly upon what I need to do very quickly. So I'm just making sure I go and do my life. And now as I do my life, I succeed differently, and I make sure that no matter what, that I see how to grow. So as I grow, I succeed in different ways to go and see the nice and beautiful way of life. So Joanne Marie Laura is China, and that's her name. I realize that's her full name, which is Joanne Marie Laura, and I just say China. Whereas now, if you want to understand anything about life, then understand that no matter what, they just always show people different areas of life. Show them the best kind of areas of life about you, always, to make sure that you're very successful. And make sure that you're posting them or promoting them on that, make sure you're promoting them on that Instagram. So why am I doing my mental state? Everything's equal to me. Everything's equal to me. And now, I feel that it's just the case for me. I let it be that way. It's much more important for me to understand. I just learned something very quickly that Mother Nature and people are equal to me, man. Everything's Mother Nature. And I let it be that way. Now, since I do that, now I want to go and see anyway. Whereas now with China, I want to actually place her in the actual woman's fantasy kind of thing as well. And the reason is that I feel that she deserves it. And now every single time I've realized something now. Whereas it's just that kind of day, isn't it? I make sure all the time that I just make a nice and beautiful way over here to love my life in different ways and to go and grow myself to succeed and to make sure that you guys have that nice and beautiful way of love. It's that communication, yeah. I say woman's, I said Danny woman's, I said Danny, I said Danny's fantasies. Haha. I mean, every single time, just make sure that if you want to have all this pleasure with yourself and you want to do something around pleasure with yourself and you want to go around, let's say, having sex with woman or man because other people are doing it, make sure you understand that if you speak more words, then you might, make sure you understand. It's much more about delaying gratification, and that's it. I understand? But if you are, let's say, unable to delay gratification, then make sure you understand anyway that you speak more words and try to delay gratification anyway. And that's the reason I understand anyway that what's important for myself is I understand anyway that what's important is to grow yourself differently and to make sure that people around you have a greater life always, because that way you learn very quickly upon what's going on in life. So just promote John Lennon as well. I understand John Lennon also is a singer over here, and John Lennon is somebody who sings in terms of life. So you must understand, if you want to see his songs, go and see his songs and what he does in life. But understand this, that if you understand that no matter what, that people are different. There's always a different way to succeed. And there's always a different way to study life and to do something different for yourself. So what you need to do all the time is focus on making sure that your life is much more. So every single day, just focus on lifting yourself and other people is the whole deal. That's the whole show. And the whole show is making sure that if you show people in their face, make sure you show the full face of them. Make sure you show people the real them in terms of the real people, in terms of how they look. Make sure you're promoting yourself in different ways to make sure that people are connecting with each other with the nice and beautiful ways of life always. And we're always making sure that people can study upon what's going on. That's the whole point, yeah? The whole point is making sure that you can go and see for yourself how you succeed. And go and see how to actually have a great attitude. But I understand how it is, how to never, I understand how it is to never care about attitude and just fuck and fuck and fuck and fuck. And just, who cares about anything? I understand that. For sure. I want that too. I want to feel like I never care about anything in a way that I want to make sure that it's more like I do care, but it's more like I understand how that is, you understand? I make sure you guys understand something. It's much more, if you want to promote somebody, then make sure either way that you understand that no matter what, that you really, really learn very quickly that those people who are fucking around and never caring about anything, but they just love to have orgies and threesomes, and they show themselves and they receive a slap or something, and it's something that you've never done before. Just move on. Move on, because that's their reality and that's never your reality. Understand? But if you want to create something like they are, then make sure you create your life. Create your life. And make sure you understand that what's the whole point of life is to make sure that you have something more to say and something more to do, but make sure all the time that you're loving yourself in the process of what's happening, because that's how you actually promote people. Promote people differently. Make sure that you understand how to go and really, really succeed in different ways. So you're always understanding something about life. Understanding that no matter what's happening about life is you're succeeding. You're succeeding all the time with your nice and beautiful way. So I understand Theodore Roosevelt, somebody also who is the 26th president of America. And he's also somebody who didn't do a great job back then. I'm not saying either way. I'm not saying he's popular about life. And I'm understanding either way. If you understand something about life, then make sure you understand that no matter what, that you're always promoting somebody who is very much more greatness. You must understand, if you're greatness in life and you're really, really believing yourself all the time, you're making sure that no matter what, that nothing is stopping you from really, really enjoying yourself in terms of whatever you want. So that's the whole point. The whole point is make sure you go and really, really dwell upon life. So if you understand that no matter what, if you just chase a person, if you chase people, for sure, eventually they love it. For sure, they love you to chase other people. But make sure you understand, I love her. For sure, I never want to chase other people because I have so much greater to do. I have so much more to do than they do. I have so much more of a life than they do. I make sure always to enjoy my life differently, I just go and promote Bob Marley as well, because Bob Marley is somebody different. And Bob Marley is a singer as well, but he's very of a great singer. And you guys have to check out Bob Marley. So I'm always understanding that when I go and really, really dwell upon something, I make sure I give you more ideas and more ideas and more ideas. I mean, you guys deserve more ideas all the time. So I want to make sure that no matter what, the nice and beautiful content is uploading. So as I upload my content, I succeed differently, and make sure that no matter what, that my nice and beautiful Mega Drive is saying upload new photos. And that's what you need to do. So if somebody has something that you've seen in an image, and guess what, guess what? I mean, you have to let go. I mean, you have to let go if you see somebody who has somebody in an image, for example. I mean, move on, because that's never the case now. I understand, but guess what, it's more how I feel. I mean, if you feel that you are missing out on life or something because other people have something that if you feel that you're missing out on life because somebody else has something that you want or you wish for, then make sure you understand that you just need yourself and your words to go and develop what you need to succeed much greater in words. And either way, you can always attract what you want. I mean, you can always attract whatever you want in life. But first, make sure you can afford it. I mean, make sure you can afford what you want. And the best way is more words. I mean, understand that. I mean, the best way to attract your life to succeed is more words. I mean, in a sense, so either way, if you're never damaging people, but make sure you understand you never damage people in anything you do, but make sure you have what you need. But I understand that I feel a lot of exaltation and rejection from Serbian community, and it's much more how I feel a lot of rejection from them around Australia. And why is that? Because they never talk to me, and the people are very negative. I love that. Because the people are very negative in life, and I understand either way that because they're negative, I never want to be around them. But they spread these rumors about me in a way that they are just hating me. I mean, they're so jealous of me. So I never want to be around the Serbian community or Australia because they're so jealous of me. So I focus on making sure that my life is successful in different ways. And I'm always checking my Mega Drive now to see did my content upload through Mega Drive. I make sure I upload 100 photos, and then I make sure that my photos are uploading all the way to see exactly what's going on, and to see all the time to make sure that no matter what, that I love my life. So as I love my life, I shall succeed all the time, and making sure that every single day I focus upon something that helps me grow. But now, as I do that, I succeed even more because there is always a greater way for myself. But make sure you understand that if you're alone somewhere and you're doing something alone, the whole point of life is what? And the whole point of life is to succeed differently and to make sure that you're doing something differently to help your life. Now, what's important right now is since I'm always doing my Instagrams every single day, I'm also talking to you in an audio program. I mean, you must understand every single day, focus on making sure that you're talking to more people and you're actually going and saying the words of life. I mean, never ever seek a relationship with another human being until you find yourself having a greater career. I mean, just saying, but for myself, in terms of women and all that, it's more how I feel. I feel that I need to get more money in terms of plastic money and success in different ways to be able to travel myself around the world whenever I want. I want to be able to go around the world and do whatever I want. I want to do something around music. I want to do something around life coaching. And then guess what? Along the way, I have all this success and I can convince a woman to be with me. But guess what? It's more how I feel. And now how I feel is that I need to have more plastic money and more success in my life before I actually have a woman in my life. And that's how I feel. Because no matter what, it's much more at this stage of parachute, they have no patience to be with me. I mean, in a sense, so I never want to go anywhere close to other people because that way I succeed, and I succeed more and I'm happier, much more alone than with other people right now. But let's say I have all the money in the world, then I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. I can go travel somewhere. I can have sex with other people. I can have sex with other people if I have the money. I can. I mean, if I see a beautiful woman and I want to have sex with her, I can. I mean, understand? I mean, just like that, yeah. I mean, for how long? I mean, for however long I can afford. But first, I just want to improve my legacy. I want to improve my legacy for next year I want to make some money differently. I want to make sure I have a plus with the bank. I want to make sure I'm promoting myself and other people, and then I just lead people straight into greatness all the time, because that's what you need to do also. When you guys need to make sure that you're succeeding differently. So succeed differently in ways that other people just dream of. I mean, make sure I understand that I can always understand how to succeed differently. So I'm always understanding that if you want to succeed even more better, the focus on understanding the whole point is make sure your life is different. So that's the whole point, yeah. And the whole point is make sure that you are looking for a way. I mean, look for a way over here. Make sure a little bit this way. Approach this one is much more, let's say, the other one over here. Approach the other one over here. I could say this one over here is what? Approach that one there. Approach let's see. Approach is that kind of day, isn't it? I make sure that no matter what, I can see this one here. See, this one's much better. Make sure I get this one over here. And make sure that you guys understand that no matter what, that as I go and reap rewards in terms of what I do, I have to understand I have to go promote myself again, by making sure that I learn very quickly on how to succeed. And as I learn, I succeed differently by making sure that I go and grab the best photos of people, always to make sure I'm doing something always to love my life differently. So that's the whole point. I mean, the whole point is make sure to stay away from sex sites and having sex with women or men, because what you want is a greater connection with words, with people then. I mean, I said, but guess what, Porsche, that's the whole point, yeah? I mean, the whole point is have more or greater connection. And that's it, Porsche. It's much more how I understand that no matter what I do, is I succeed differently, and that's how I realize something. I realize you must make sure that you're doing a greater job. Now, as you do a greater job, you're always looking for that nice and beautiful way of life to succeed differently. So when you want to do something that's new for yourself, whereas you want to make sure that people are studying upon you and what's going on, I can make sure that there's always much more to do. And since I see this one over here is more enough for me, but I make sure that no matter what, I see very much more difference in what I do daily to succeed in different ways. So every single day, focus on understanding no matter what I do, I'm learning very quickly about you and everybody else and how I succeed. Because no matter what I do is I learn to stand by me. I see the John Lennon song. I say, always learning to stand by me and stand by me. In a sense that I'm always standing by I'll make sure that no matter what, that you guys realize, if you want to always promote people and you want to see images or videos of them, I mean, guess what, Proshi, isn't that the same thing as pleasure in life? Proshi, no. Proshi, there's a big difference. But in another way, yes. I mean, they're saying, but guess what? I mean, make sure you're never seeking pleasure from other people. I mean, they're saying, make sure that you can go without other people as much as possible, is how you be alone. I mean, saying, so if you want to be alone in life and you want to do something that's very sexy, you're always looking for that nice and beautiful improvement in yourself, to have something in your life that succeeds. So that's the whole point. I mean, the whole point is making sure you're very successful in what you're doing, and you're making sure that you're learning very quickly upon what you need to do. I mean, every single day, just study upon that nice and beautiful factor of life to understand that no matter what, it's much more the words than anything else. So if you're focusing on understanding something about life, then make sure that you look great. I mean, be able to look great for yourself and be able to understand how it feels to feel sexy and to feel much more about life. Because no matter what you're doing, you're focusing on making sure that you have the nice and beautiful way of life in different ways. But pleasure never ever satisfies other people or anything. So you must understand that. You must understand that if you feel that you need to go and look at images of people, because the images of people, then you focus on understanding that you can do it. But it's much more how I feel. I mean, the more I feel greater, the more I feel greater, the better I understand either way. I feel that other men are dominating women much more than I am in pleasure. And I understand that Jesus Christ also can see that. By making sure you understand that no matter what, that it's much more how you need to delay gratification. I understand. And I understand how unfair the world can be. But guess what, Parachute? You must understand either way. If you're promoting yourself in courageousness and what you want out of life, then make sure all the time You're learning very quickly upon understanding that if you want to be successful upon life, then you're focusing on making sure that you have more success in different ways to study and to love your life and to make sure that you're somebody courageous. You're making sure that no matter what you're doing, that you own it like an individual all the time, and you're making sure that you have all the necessary success all the time to succeed is what you want to do. But I understand how sexy somebody can be in different ways. So make sure you understand that no matter what you want to do, it's never hurt people. Make sure you understand you never hurt anybody. But look to understand yourself always in what you want. That's the whole point. And the whole point is making sure that you're looking sexier and sexier and sexier. And I'm understanding always about how to lift people in different ways, because if you're lifting people all the time, then making sure always that you understand that's the whole point of success, is to find that nice and beautiful way of life, isn't it? Make sure you understand that there's always much more to do and there's always much more to say in different ways. But focusing on making sure that no matter what, that if you really, really promote people all the time, and you promote people in the best kind of ways, then you focus upon understanding that there's always much more that you can deliver in different ways. So love your life always. Look great always. There's always a difference, yeah. But there's always a difference, and understand that no matter what, that it's just that kind of day. And it's just that kind of day that if you just really understand that you want to just focus upon understanding that no matter what you're doing, you learn very quickly upon what's happening in the world. And making sure that no matter what, that you're understanding the history about yourself and other people in different ways, and then you're understanding that no matter what, that you need to go and love yourself in a way that you're communicating more words. Approaching anybody who's communicating more words today is people who understand more of life, or should understand more of life in different ways. So focus on understanding that no matter what you're doing, that you're loving your life, and that you understand the whole point. The whole point is making sure that if you feel successful because of something, that you understand that it's more because it's more because of you. But other people you may hang around with, they are probably people, in terms of most of the people on the planet, actually, let's say, doing something different. I thank you. Whereas I have Charlotte Styles saying, I adore you, I adore you. I thank you. Whereas now I'm making sure that you understand that no matter what, I have always spirits talking to me in different ways. But if you go and focus upon your life in different ways to succeed in doing something all the time, and make sure you understand that, for example, with Motorhead, and make sure that you understand that they are gone. Unfortunately, they are gone in different ways. So I'm making sure that I want to go and understand something about Motorhead. Unfortunately, they are no longer a band. They're no longer a band today. I understand that. So what I want to do is I want to focus upon understanding to see this kind of I want to see this kind of nice and beautiful band inside of my Instagram. So I understand that either way, that what's important is making sure that if you want to do something great and you want to understand something that helps you grow in different ways, then you're always willing to do greater about yourself to understand what you need to do to succeed is different. If you focus upon understanding now, that if I go and see where Motorhead is right now, just to see what are they doing, although it's much more how I feel, but they may be able to, let's say, do more. But let's have a look. I'm much more able to understand that they are people who are very different. So understand that Motorhead, in terms of other people, are still trying to, let's say, do some nice and beautiful content around themselves. But I'm understanding either way. Of course, you must understand that you have to always see what's new. You have to see what's a nice and beautiful way for you to go and study upon your story and what you're doing. And you're always focusing on featuring yourself somehow. Feature yourself somehow to see exactly what you're doing. So if you understand either way, it's more how I feel that they are just gone from each other. I'm not saying that they may perform single-handedly in terms of demo. They may perform in a single-handedly kind of manner where they are going and really, really, let's say, doing something around themselves in a different way. So I want to see this. I see they're live in Berlin over here. So I'm saying they're still going on. In other ways, I realize that they still want to, let's say, do life with Motorhead in different ways. But what I do now is I realize they're selling them. They're selling some stuff. all the way, and they're selling their nice and beautiful stuff over here in terms of their content. I love it. But actually, it's just that kind of way, isn't it? But actually, now understand either way that people have to try to develop themselves, and they have to try to do something that they've never done before to make sure that no matter what happens, that people are doing nice and beautifully. So either way, I approach you now. I want to just let it be. I approach they're gone. I approach they're gone from this world. I approach you either way. I approach you. I feel that somebody may be alive, but I understand either way that it can happen. But what I do is I learn to just persuade myself to just focus on making sure that it's just that kind of way of life, isn't it? I focus on understanding that what I want to do is I understand that images never hurt you. But if you feel hurt about images that you see, actually, it's more how you have to communicate over that. You have to say. You have to see this. That if you're doing pleasure around yourself and other people, make sure you understand that it's a waste of time to do it. There's no empathy toward those people. I understand, but guess what? Approach it's more selfish pleasures. I understand, but is food a selfish pleasure? Approach is food and drink a selfish pleasure? Approach now Jesus Christ says, yeah. Approach food and drink is a selfish pleasure. I understand, and I understand that. So I focus on making sure that no matter what I do, I focus on just loving life differently, and I make sure all the time that I'm doing something much more in the planet to succeed in different ways, because I deserve a great way to understand life differently. So the whole point is making sure that you have to promote yourself always. Always be able to see what you want to do about life and succeed. Which that's all you do. Which all you do is study the nice and beautiful art of what you're doing in different ways to focus upon understanding that every single day you do a greater life. And doing a greater life all the time is making sure that you're a rock star. I see Motorhead says, you're a rock star. Thank you. Whereas now all the time, just focus on understanding how to, focus on understanding that you must go and succeed. See Motorhead, for example. See Motorhead are people over here that I realize it's a band together of musicians about rock and then rock and roll. And either way, I focus on making sure that I want to just let it be. But I feel that images were hurting me before. And do I feel that now though? I feel images never hurt me in life. But why? Either way, I love them. But it's more how if I look at images of anything in life where other people may have sex with other people, then it's more how I feel. I feel differently, but do I get hurt because some guy has a beautiful woman? But the more I see those images, the more I feel that I have to communicate more words in different ways to see how much more I can do. So it's much more how I understand that images never hurt you. Images never hurt you to see pornography images or something like that. But guess what? It's that kind of day, yeah. Make sure you understand. It's like you're the third party, and you have to watch them having sex. What for? What for? It's like you're the beta male. It's like you're something below them when you're watching them have sex. Right? In a sense. So make sure you understand that if you feel that way, make sure you go away from it. I understand, but it's more happening anyway. I feel either way that most people are bigger males or people who are lower quality because they're never they're never lower quality because they're staying away from sex. But it feels that way. It feels that way because guess what? Actually, it's more how it is, yeah. Actually, it feels like other people are having sex, and you have to talk on an audio program like this. But either way, I understand. I must more, let's say, speak to you anyway. So what I do is I focus on making sure that my love for life is all equal. I focus on just delivering. I deliver content very quickly. I'm doing something that I've never done before. Because the whole point of life is what? The whole point of life is making sure you're successful in different ways. And you're just learning to study the art of what you're doing all the time. So always focus on making sure that your love for yourself is different and make sure you keep pushing. Keep pushing yourself to succeed every single day. There's no stopping. There's no stopping words. Never stop your words every single day. You just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. There's nothing else to do, guys. Whereas now, what I do now is I succeed differently. I make sure that no matter what I see something over here where I have to go and let it be now and move on. Whereas now I have no clue why that is, but I'm making sure that I do something very quickly to see what's going on over here in terms of my love for I. So I'm understanding that when you are promoting yourself differently and you're really focusing on a greater life for yourself, be promoting yourself as much as you can, and let it be now. I move on, because if I lost content before about anything, then I just want to move on, because I feel that I understand either way. I have more content coming anyway. So what I do is I let it be. I don't want to go backwards, but I'm focusing on making sure that no matter what, I can see my situation over here. I can see the different reality I have to them. I can see my reality is different to other people and how I succeed. They have a different reality to me altogether. Why? I love life. It has to be like that. I feel either way, I can see straight away that some other people in terms of women can actually be with me in terms of my reality. Whereas now I understand that she can also, but I feel these nice and beautiful women who are next to me are totally different in terms of my reality. And they are in my reality somehow. And they're in that nice and beautiful phase of life with me. But these other women that I see them online, I see them online somehow, actually they are very much apart from me. But they're somewhere across the world somewhere. And I said that unfortunately that is so different. Unfortunately, pornography people in terms of how they're doing life with my legacy, it never even goes right now. And why? Because I have to have more plastic money to be able to do what they're doing. I have to have more plastic money to do all this pornography and all that. And that's it. There's sense. So if you want to understand that no matter what, that I'm just learning very quickly. That just do I become much more in words. I focus on understanding to delay gratification all the time. But I'm focusing on understanding that no matter what, I'm learning very quickly to become more and more and more. And now my video work is something different, but it's coming up. I'm doing some more video work here and there. Make sure that no matter what you must understand, I'm much more motivating myself in different ways. I'm looking for different ways to improve, but since that's the case, I realize there's been a lot of changes going on with me in terms of how I feel about life. Watch, my music is changing. I see my music is changing. I see my feelings are changing. I see my words are changing. I see the nice and beautiful way of life that I have is changing. I no longer have to travel so much around Australia. And yes, I do. I still have to travel as much as I want. I need to travel always somewhere. But the thing is now that because I've went most of Australia, I feel I understand straight away what I'm doing much more than other people. And now I'm different. I'm different about what I do. I'm different about every single success in the world. I feel that some kind of nice and beautiful knowledge is coming up where I have this intimacy of words around me. It's more how I feel that I want to connect in a deeper level of, let's say, pleasure with a person to communicate greatness to them. And guess what? Approach it's more how I feel. But make sure always to just communicate greatness with words only, without the pleasure of doing it with them. I feel I want to have an intimate connection with somebody in a way of love and devotion, of having sex with them, to communicate words to them and stuff like that. I feel intimacy. But guess what? I'm doing better than that. I feel that I just want to speak more words now. But it's more how I understand how guys go around and just want to dominate a woman, and the woman looks like a slut, and the guy's just pumping her from behind. I understand that, but what's important is understanding that if you want to do anything to love your life quickly, then make sure you understand that you need to go and grow yourself in different ways. And growing yourself in different ways means loving yourself to the best of your ability, and then you're making sure that no matter what, you're learning very quickly upon what you need to do daily. Which that's it. I'm just making sure that you guys understand very quickly that there's no need to be afraid of eternity and how you're going to speak words to everybody. And now eternity, or as in eternity, I feel that anything can happen in eternity. That's just words. I feel eternity is just words with Jesus Christ. I feel that with Jesus Christ up there in eternity, I feel that there is a lot of sex going on in terms of pleasure, like touching each other. I feel that there can be something about that, but make sure you understand that anything you can say in words happens. God can achieve whatever you want in words. But make sure you understand it's more how you need to go realize something. You need to go and talk more. Whereas it's more about talking than doing anything else. Which there's nothing else to do except talking in life. Which that's it. Approach talking fulfills me more and more and more than sex ever will. You understand? Which now every single time I'm focusing on making sure that I have my nice and beautiful photos every single day, but it's much more how I need to grow my legacy and I need to grow myself into the best kind of way possible here. I need to invest some money and I need to give some money. In that sense, what I want to do is let it be. I want to make sure that no matter what, that I can feel a greater way of life over here. So if you want to understand every single day to do something that's helping you move forward, then go and really, really understand how it feels to make sure that you're just boosting your legacy in a way that you're boosting your words and words and words. Then it gets, guess what? Exactly, you get exactly the better life all the time. The better way of life is speak more words. Or else, if you want to have a greater success overall, then it's speak more words. Speaking more words is the way. I feel this one over here is nice. But I'm making sure that no matter what, I'm just doing my nice and beautiful Mother Nature photos. So what I do is understand this one over here is a jellyfish. It could be a jellyfish or something. So what I do is understand that no matter what, that as I'm really, really performing much more, I'm making sure that you understand that no matter what that I feel, every kind of bliss in the planet, but I'm making sure that no matter what, there's much more than words, the better. Words is much more than anything else. If you want to go and dwell upon something that's more happiness in your life, that's something that helps you move forward, which it's more how you need to feel that nice and beautiful way of life in different ways. So focus on something that's very nice and beautiful daily, which that's nice and beautiful for me. I have to promote dogs. Promote different dogs out there, I promise you. It's much more how I feel that you must understand that if you want to go really, really study upon life, unfortunately, yes, I need to go understand something about life in different cars. I promote cars too, otherwise it's much more how I feel. If you want to understand something very beautiful about life is being alone. Being alone is much more than having sex with other people, I promise you. I feel that. I feel it to be true, I promise you. Nobody else can actually, let's say, fulfill you in a sexual game of love or whatever. I promise you, and what you need to do all the time is make sure that you are doing great. You have to be doing great and you have to be doing greater all the time. Be sure to understand that your life must be successful moving forward, and that's it. And make sure all the time that you're learning very quickly upon helping people to succeed in different mannerisms right now so that they understand you. If they understand what you do and how you're successful, then that's all that you need to do. Just focus on making sure that you're very successful upon showing colors. Show some colors around. Show some nice and beautiful ways of life that you've never seen before, but you agree with it. Agree with a nice and beautiful picture of what you want out of life. And then either way, you're learning very quickly upon how to actually just promote very quickly upon what you want. Which that's the whole point, yeah? Which the whole point is making sure that you're very fast and effective to look at photos and promote very quickly about something that you love. And promote only things or aspects of life that you love. Only promote what you love. And now guess what? Love everything. Now, be able to love everything. Never ever be that individual who loves certain aspects of life only. Love everything always. Why? Whereas if you love everything always, then nothing has control over you. We make sure to understand that anything that you may hate, then guess what? That has control over you at some point. I love everything. I love everything in my life. I make sure you understand that what's important for myself here is to make sure that I have eternal images of life. I can watch Netflix so much today. I can do something differently today. I make sure that I understand Netflix. I understand no matter what, I can fit in there somewhere. By making sure all the time that you focus upon loving yourself. Never ever go pleasure, 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 pleasure. Because guess what happens with pleasure, 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 pleasure? It gets boring. It gets so boring eventually. And that's it. You must understand that what you need to do all the time is a different way of life. Promote something different always. I mean, be able to just look at nice and beautiful aspects of life and promote that. I mean, that's in because that way you understand every single time that you're doing something different. I mean, do something that other people are yet to do and other people are never doing. I mean, that's it. But when I look at my nice and beautiful Instagram photos, I see, oh, I like it. I love it. That's how it is. Which now, since I'm always promoting different people, I'm understanding that no matter what I want to just let it be. I realize that it's much more how I feel. I have to upload this content and then help you more.